All right, let's jump right in. I've got an incredible story for you today, all about frustration, sheer perseverance, and an idea that ended up being worth crowers.
Okay, let's start with a number. Just look at this. 280 crores. That was the reported price Google paid to acquire a single, simple mobile app.
So you've got to ask yourself, right? How does that happen? How does one simple question from one frustrated passenger on a train platform lead to that kind of money? Well, to figure that out, we've got to rewind the clock. Let's go back to 2015. Picture this. You're on a train platform, it's crowded, your train is hours late, and you're not alone. Millions of people were dealing with this exact problem every single day. And it all comes down to this one simple, universal question. Meri train kahan hai? Where is my train? You can almost feel the anxiety in that question, right? It was this frustrating reality for crores of passengers who had absolutely no reliable way to get an answer. And this is what's so wild. Think about it. Back in 2015, you could live track a tiny little cab right to your doorstep, down to the minute. But a massive train carrying thousands of people? Nope, impossible. The information was a mess and the anxiety for passengers was just through the roof. So who was the genius who decided to finally crack this thing? It wasn't some huge tech corporation. No, it was one of the passengers. The question came from a young guy named Ahmed Nizam, who came from a poor Muslim family and was just totally fed up with waiting around with no answers.
But you and I both know having a great idea is one thing. Actually making it happen, that's a whole different battle. And for him, man, it was a battle against some pretty immense obstacles, leading to over 20 failures before he finally found success.
I mean, the challenges he was up against were just, you almost can't believe it. First off, no money, like zero cash to get this thing off the ground. Second, and this is the crazy part, he barely had consistent internet access himself. And on top of all that, he just kept failing over and over and over again. And look, when I say failure, I'm not talking about a couple of little bugs here and there. We're talking more than 20 different prototypes in just 1 year. And every single one of them failed. Can you even imagine the resilience it takes to keep going after that? But somehow, through all of that, his hosla, his courage, his spirit, it just didn't break. He was absolutely convinced this idea could help millions of people, and he flat out refused to give up on it. And you know what? That stubborn refusal to quit actually forced him to get creative. His lack of resources, the very thing that should have stopped him, actually led to this brilliant, elegant solution. A no-internet innovation, a breakthrough born from pure necessity. Okay, so this is where the real genius comes in. His system didn't need expensive GPS units on every train. It didn't even need the train itself to have an internet connection. The system simply uses cell tower data. So as the train zips past a mobile tower, the app grabs that data, figures out the train's location, and then shares it with users. So simple, so effective, just brilliant. And just like that, with that one elegant solution, the entire game changed. He'd cracked the code. And this innovation went on to become a lifesaver for millions, launching him on this incredible journey from failed prototype to a global acquisition. The speed of this journey is just mind-blowing. Think about it. 2015, it's just an idea born from frustration. By 2016, after all those failures, he has a working prototype. And then, just 2 years after that, boom, the app gets acquired by Google. And today, that very same app, Where is My Train, is what the source material calls a vardhan, a boon, a blessing, for crores of daily travelers. It took away the anxiety and the uncertainty, and it fundamentally improved the travel experience for an entire nation. But look, this story is about so much more than just a successful app or a big payday. It carries a much deeper social significance, which brings us to this really powerful final thought. History, not punctures. The source material leaves us with this incredibly powerful thought that really challenges a common stereotype. It uses the name Abdul as a kind of stand-in for many young Muslim men, and it says this, Abdul surf puncture hi nahi banata, Abdul history bhi banata hai, which means Abdul doesn't just fix punctures, Abdul also makes history. And honestly, what a perfect way to end. It's a reminder that real innovation, the kind that makes history, can come from anywhere and from anyone, no matter what their background is.